Cole Kusama with Arizona Republic. Ryan, during media day, you had said that one thing that you remembered from the finale last year was that you wished you weren't in as much of a hurry starting 15th. They're starting 17th tomorrow. What's your kind of approach being the deepest of the championship four drivers?
Yeah, I'll be able to put that to the test when I was talking about on media day because I'm starting about the same spot. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The approach, obviously, our lap didn't go well. I just got really free into one and kind of ruined it all and couldn't really make it back up. I was surprised, honestly, it ran what it did for how loose I got. And so I think our car's pretty good. Still nice to have, a decent pit stall and things like that. So, yeah, just kind of take it how we can get it tomorrow and, kind of work through the first handful of laps and then try to start marching forward. So, yeah, it's pretty similar to last year. Hopefully it ends the same and we can charge through the field, and I think our race car was good enough to where hopefully we can make that happen.
All right, we'll go to Zach and then Bob.
Zach Sterniola, NASCAR.com. I think back to practice last year, you guys, single lap speed wasn't great, but you guys had good long run speed. Yesterday, quickest lap in practice, plus it seemed like you guys had, again, decent long run speed. Does the weekend so far feel any better, different, worse than it did a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, practice yesterday. Yeah, I actually, like you said, we were quickest in practice. I could fire it off with a good lap on my second set of tires. It took 3 or 4 laps to run my best lap. But that was nice. It's like, okay, we have a little bit of the short run speed. It's an area that we've seemed to struggle a little bit is the short run. And our strength's been the long run. I thought I had a bit of both yesterday in practice, so that's encouraging. But I'd like to qualify a little better. Yeah, obviously. But, I'm feel pretty decent about where our balance of our car was yesterday and try to adjust for tomorrow and the sun, completely out and temperature change a little bit. So, yeah, I feel like our car was fairly well balanced, and so it's a good thing.
All right, Bob.
Bob Parker, Fox Sports. We heard on Joey's radio yesterday that felt like maybe the Chevys were taking away some lines for you to be able to get a good lap. But did you have any similar issues, and if so, did it impact today?
I didn't have any. Didn't really impact today. I just turmoil.
And did you watch the truck race at
Yeah.
all? They called a ton of getting out of line on the restarts. How much do you think that impacts what you guys will do Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, this is the toughest place for that. It's the most inviting to kind of go down there, and you're always kind of antsy on getting down to the apron. And yeah, the truck deal last night that I saw, it was kind of a weird situation of with the 11 in the third row, and the front 2 rows kind of straightened out. Like they didn't shade left. Like I think he thought they were going to shade left. So that just kind of, I think, mistimed him. And so yeah, it's a tough one, especially when you have an idea of what you think the guy in front of you or the rows in front of you are going to do, and they kind of do something different, and you kind of get caught with the pants down a little bit. So it's something that NASCAR is obviously going to enforce, and you have to be careful about it, especially if you ride up someone's bumper and you can't really see to the left of them or anything. So it's something you have to be really careful of. You're all over the manufacturing train, man. I guess so.
All right, if I can get a microphone to Dustin, please, up front.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports 8. Also in the truck race last night, there were some of the competitors were talking about how slick the pit stalls were. Is that an issue you've had here, or what are the pit stalls like for you guys?
Yeah, I noticed that. The first thought they were talking about it, and then they had a couple really good camera shots from behind the pit wall of a couple of those guys leaving their stalls, and it was really slick. They just were in place spinning tires, and I was like, I don't really remember them being super slick out here like they. It's never jumped out to me watching the event like that. So yeah, I don't know what causes that. So yeah, it's something that we it's good to pay attention to that stuff, just because your first run at your box is going to be, the first stop of the race. So you don't want to blow through your stall, and it's also nice to kind of understand that, hey, if it's super slick leaving, you kind of leave maybe a little bit differently than you normally would at a place that has more grip. So it did seem a little bit slicker last night than what it has in the past, but I don't know why it would be that way.
Since the statute of limitations have passed, going back to last year's race, being the first time the championship floor, how nervous were you, or what it was like the night before? And, you know, was it to be, now you can be honest as opposed to.
Yeah, I would say I was a little bit nervous the night before, for sure. Just, you know, wanting to do well, obviously. I think that was just the biggest reason I was nervous, is you want to take, you know, the full opportunity that you're given, you know. So yeah, I was a little bit nervous, but I've always said, like, being nervous isn't a bad thing. It means you care. It means you care about what you're doing, and you have an opportunity to do something really neat. You know, that kind of that's a good thing, right? So it's okay to be a little bit nervous, but when race day came, I feel like everybody, even leading up, like the whole morning of, like, you feel a little bit of butterflies, but once you get strapped in the car and your safe space in there, and you're ready to do what you're most comfortable doing, which is racing, that kind of goes away. But yeah, the night before it was a little nerve-wracking, but not too bad. I didn't lose any sleep, that's for sure. But yeah, it was a little butterflies the night before.